So I'm Coach Brian Prawn, and today we're going to be going over nutrition and fitness. A little bit about who I am. I've been in the health and nutrition industry for the last 20 years. Personal trainer, group exercise instructor. I've got an exercise degree back in 2004. I've owned gyms. I've been a remote nutritionist, health coach for the last 8 years. So I have clients all over the U.S., young, old, healthy, sick, chronically ill, people who know a lot about this stuff, and others that have no clue. So there's lots of experience, engagement that I've had with clients. I have the last two people I hired on. One was a runner trying to run her first marathon, had gastric bypass surgery, and so now we got to figure out how to get her to eat lots of calories, even though she has a small stomach. The other person is someone who's challenged to eat more food, and she keeps losing too much weight. I know, tough problem. It sounds like, right? But for her, it is a big problem. She feels like she's wasting away. And how does she cut down flare-ups and get better nutritional strategies for her to better improve? That was like literally in the last 2 days. So a lot of unique situations, and I would most certainly love to have a lot of engagement in this process. I feel like I can bring a lot to the table, and let me get our conversation up here. All right, and today we're going over nutrition and fitness, how to put it together to make the best you and the best health that you can do for yourself. So the contents of our conversation are going to be around what is fitness and nutrition, exercise and energy balance, how do we put them together, personalized nutrition, how do we eat to fuel your body, and food is fitness fuel. What does it actually mean? We hear it a lot in the industry, but we want to put some context to it so you actually eat food to fuel your body and give you the look, the feel, the energy that we need. So with that said, again, chat's going to be open, or the Q&A, whichever one seems to be open on your end. So please engage, ask questions. You'll get way more out of this, I promise. So fitness and nutrition, what this is about is enhancing athletic performance by managing your energy levels, muscle growth, recovery, physical performance, long-term health, and well-being. Oftentimes, if you have a goal of being a fit individual, you need the energy levels to support that. If you don't, then you're never going to end up getting the results and the long-term progress that we want for you. Like, say if you're running a 5K or even longer, you're just not going to have the endurance, so to speak. You're going to always end up hitting the wall. Like they use the term bonk back in the 90s. You'd bonk and hit the wall because you didn't have adequate carbohydrates for your run, whether you were eating them before, during your run, or you had done a great job refueling your gas tank, so to speak, with some carbohydrates in your body to perform. Getting stronger takes the right type of calories and carbs and protein to build muscle and build strength. If you're an athlete, you're always focused on recovery. How do I get better for the next time I'm going to perform and engage and do things? And then ultimately making sure that you are eating a healthy way to maintain the look, the feel, the body that you want, and you don't end up with some of these effects of poor nutrition. Certainly, and most unfortunately, the way our country is trending is obesity, chronic disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. These are all things we can avoid with proper exercise or even just movement and a better nutritional approach. The access to easy, convenient carbohydrates and whatnot really challenges your ability to make good choices in the moment. We all live busy lives. I get that. Every single person I've ever talked to lives a busy lifestyle. So we want to manage that a lot better so that you actually have time, energy, and effort to be able to put into better nutrition, food choices, portions, so that you don't end up getting things like depression or anxiety or overly stressed, can't focus, brain fog, or fatigue. A lot of that is directly influenced by how you feed yourself. Now, the benefits of healthy eating, a healthy diet really focuses on boosting I have a code for you guys at the end. I have an alarm going to go off, and please don't let me leave without giving you the code. Actually, I'll put this in here just to make sure that I don't forget it. So it'll be a good reminder. You got to wait till the end, though, to get the code to cue in. So please don't let me forget. I'm sure you won't. So you can turn in credits here. Now, back to our conversation. So healthy eating, boosting your immunity. If you have lots of colors in your nutrition, your food choices, you're going to get a lot of vitamins and minerals that are going to serve you so much better. It protects your body from diseases, of course. You can maintain a healthy body weight. That in and of itself is going to give you the best chance to fight disease and avoid some of those that I mentioned on the previous slide. Your emotional well-being, you're just going to be a more well-rounded person. You're going to have that look, that feel, that body, that energy that you need in this process, and you're going to have the energy to do the things in life that you want to do. Who doesn't want that in there every day? Now, proper fitness nutrition or sport nutrition, however you want to call it, the obvious things that happen is prevent muscle fatigue, increase your energy levels, concentration, you're managing your weight well, and it's not that hard at all. Weight management is simple, but it's not easy. It's simple, but not easy. And, in general, we have to move more, eat less, right? That's a very easy undertone here. But if you manage your body weight, your exercise, and your food choices, it's going to be a lot better to manage that. Simply put, there are three things that we're working towards focusing on. Like if any individual I ever work with, I always have to remind them, the process isn't hard. It's a lot easier than you think. We have movement, food choices, and portion control. As soon as you figure those out for your body and your energy and your activity, your lifestyle, the sky's the limit then. If we're fueling ourselves with the right type of protein and calories, we can build some muscle. That's what I'm trying to do. It may or may not look like it. I've been working on my arms lately in my exercise programming. We want to recover and reduce and almost eliminate any injury or illness. If you get hurt, you're sick, any of that stuff, then you ultimately are no good to anyone. You end up getting, you can't go out for your run the next day. You have to take more time off. If you're really into exercise and stuff, you end up, it costs you mentally and emotionally. Like your mental stress goes up. Like some people, they can only work out, like 2 or 3 days without working out before they start getting a little itchy and want to change. All right, next up is our bodies need energy. Of course, right? Energy is calories. Calories are energy to fuel your body. Food is just broken down into calories, proteins, carbs, and fats. Those are called macronutrients. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. So when we have the right combination of calories, protein, carbs, and fats in food choices and food combinations in right portions, you will always have easy weight maintenance and never have to worry about it. But if you don't know what you're doing there, then it's easy to fall in the trap of this food's healthy or this food's not, or I should be eating more of this or not, or I skip a meal and next thing you know, I'm trying to manage my energy levels, but then I end up just ultimately hungry and I make a not good food choice as a result anyways. So you went to try to manage your calories better, ultimately just to eat more, which is obviously not helpful. So when we break down like food, like calories, protein and carbs are 4 calories per gram, and then fat is 9 calories per gram. And once you realize that fat is twice as calorie dense, over twice, as protein and carbs. So fat is something you need to pay attention to, and it is in a lot of foods that we eat. So back to the slide here, where we have the total amount of energy required for your physiological actions is your metabolism. So the daily processes to keep yourself alive cost energy, and it comes from food. As you need more oxygen, as you breathe, we are aerobic machines. As you breathe and you metabolize oxygen and energy, then you are going to need more calories. So again, like think of this, like walking for an hour or running for an hour, we're going to need more energy because the running costs more effort, energy, and oxygen for you to work through, metabolize, and manage. So we have exercise activity. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I burn this many calories in a class. Yeah, that's excellent and awesome, and that can help you have a general approximation. Please don't look at the treadmill at the gym and say, I burned this many calories. It's not 100% accurate. It's going to be an approximation. Even your watches are going to have some level of approximation as well. Think of, if I have my watch, where is the sensor? The sensor is right underneath the watch face. Where, if I were to take a pulse, if I said, hey, take a pulse on your body, you would reach for your wrist and you do the inside of your wrist. So if you wanted an even more accurate reading on, like say your Apple Watch or something, you would turn the watch face inward. Let's see if I can do it here. So you obviously do this, and you're going to get a lot better calorie reading, but there still could be some inaccuracy there. Now, we certainly are going to need to burn calories through exercise, and it can be something as simple as just be more purposeful walking, or actually getting into an exercise class, or strength training, or running, or whatever. These are all things that we can definitely do. If you're active, you're obviously going to have more calories to burn on a regular basis than if you're sedentary, much, much less. So as the overall total energy expenditure in your day, being sedentary, you're only maybe relying on like 10% of the total calories burned in a day toward your energy and calorie needs. If you're more active and you're purposely training and exercising, then you're going to need, a lot, like 30% of your calories are going to come from that demand. This is the cool thing here that people don't give a lot of credit to, and it certainly has been picking up a lot of steam, is the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. NEAT, they call it. This is daily movement that isn't deliberate. Doing your outdoor chores, playing with your kids, cleaning the house. I'm currently standing, and I've been standing all morning on my phone calls. I pace around my basement because it's snowing outside, so I'm not going out. But when it's warmer out, I'll be outside walking around when I'm on phone calls with people. And so I get a lot of activity. Even moving my arms around burns calories. So if I'm doing this all day, every day, and I look like this robot over here, but I'm burning calories, that's going to burn exponentially more calories than if I just sat and did nothing. So there's a huge, huge opportunity for you to just literally walk and burn so much more calories, or stand more frequently and you're just going to burn more calories. Now, I'm a big fan of like step counts. So that 10K step is a really easy number to manage there for you. And with that, what we have is, say you only do 5,000 steps in a day. I've done the math, so I use this as an easy example. That'd be 5,000 less steps in a day. That would be that'd be 35,000 less steps in a week. That's 100 140,000 less steps in a month, and that equals out to almost 1.7 million less steps in a year. So there's a huge impact on you just not walking around a block more, parking farther away, or whatever. It does make a difference. And one of the easy coaching points I have with my clients: can you move more than you're currently doing now? And your step counts are a really easy way to improve your NEAT, your non-exercise activity, and it'll show up there on your step tracker. Whether you're taking steps or not, like if I go do my arms circling around in the air a bunch of times, I'm going to get steps accumulated on my watch, so that it does add up and tells a story of my overall movement that I'm doing in a day. Now, other things, humans are complicated, right? Energy balance is definitely challenging to figure out. We're all individuals, so we have our unique, say, metabolisms and lifestyles. Genetics can play a part, right? Some people are, quote, naturally gifted and they just burn calories, and others walk by a donut shop and they put on 5 pounds, right? We've heard that before. There's ability for digestion and absorption. Literally, the last lady I talked to, Teresa, just a little bit ago, she's having some absorption issues, IBS issues, and it's causing her problems in keeping calories in her body, and even the desire to eat is much less. So she's constantly challenged with eating more food, and she's losing weight, and she's concerned. She should be up at least 10 pounds from where she's at to feel healthier and more, say, normal like herself, and it's costing her. She can't move her living room furniture around like she would want to. Something as simple as that can bother someone, whereas like someone else might like it, whatever, that's not important to me. It's all about the goals. So the digestion and absorption can impact your ability to manage calories. Physiological and psychological. So the processes of managing stress in the body, both from physical activity, but a mental and emotional stress as well, can be a challenge there. Like work, hopefully your work environment is wonderful. You enjoy the people you work with. It's a productive team, and you guys are kicking butt, taking names, and making money doing it. So now next up is energy and exercise, the balance of it. So carbs are definitely used during exercise the most. Think of your muscle as a gas tank. The gas tank is the actual structure of your muscle. The gasoline that goes into a car gas tank is called muscle glycogen. So stored carbohydrates are the fuel, the gasoline that goes into your muscles, and that's what you use for exercise. So especially if you're like an endurance athlete, yes, you do need carbs. That is by far your best energy source. This is just common knowledge, and you do want to eat carbs before and even during a workout to help maintain blood sugar levels and energy levels there. Now, there are some other like higher intensity, shorter duration exercises, riding like Peloton class, or sprinting, or going uphill, or doing really heavy weightlifting and stuff, or boot camp classes. Those are gonna deserve more carbohydrates and more energy. Oftentimes, when the harder you work out, the more apt you're going to need food, and you're going to be hungrier, right? Again, we go back to the example of walking an hour versus running an hour. You will definitely need more food, more calories, and carbohydrates after you get done running, because you've used a lot of them up. Okay, whereas like walking in lower intensity could spend a little bit more time focused on, like, say, burning fat And certainly you've heard or even seen it on treadmills and stuff at the gym. You have fat burning zone and carb burning zone and such. It corresponds with the level of activity. Throwing that out there, some people are like, hey, should I walk in to stay in a fat burning zone, or should I do some more aerobic conditioning zone? The simple answer to that question is, how much time do you have? If you have a lot more time, then sure, go walk and get your steps and your activity in. Do gardening and do other low activity. Clean your house, great. That's wonderful. If you are time tight and time sensitive, then you'll want to make sure that you are focused on doing higher intensity efforts. So you may need to go run. You may need to get on the elliptical and move to burn more calories in the time that you have. Okay, so that's a really simple answer to a question I get all the time. Now, so here's some examples of just walking, easy distance running, long bike rides, hiking and stuff are examples of lower intensity, longer duration efforts. So which one do you choose? The fuel you burn during exercise to the percentage of your day. It goes back to exactly what I just said. It's like, how much time do you have? What's your dedication level? What are your goals around? Do you want to, run? Do you want to go on a long bike ride this summer at a bike event? Do you want to lift weights? Do you just want to walk and you don't like exercise that much? Okay, well, let's just make sure that we have enough time to coordinate with the amount of activity and overall movement that works best for you. And that's where we start. You don't have to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger program. You don't have to run marathons or something to manage your body weight. Just have to fuel it appropriately with the right amount of calories. So next up is energy imbalance. It's important to make sure that you're eating the right amount of calories. Oftentimes, when you're doing activity and you're trying to manage your body weight, you end up under eating, which sounds odd, but it costs you performance, recovery, and it can actually slow down your metabolism in the long run if you just aren't fueling yourself appropriately. So there's this need to have the right amount. So like it says here, your metabolic functions can be preserved if your body's consistently not getting enough calories. So there's different levels of this. We have say X. X is weight maintenance. X minus enough helps you lose weight consistently, reliably, sustainably. X minus too much, a lot of people get in a rush of wanting to lose all the weight in a month, which sure, who wouldn't want to do that? But when it comes to actually managing your body weight, easy, sustainable progress is 1 to 2 pounds a week. 3, I always say, is amazing. 4 or more, we're overreaching. So we do have to be very conscious of that process. Or then you end up, losing performance, fatigue increases, and you potentially can slow down your metabolism in a way that you are just not giving your body enough fuel, so your body will slow all of its processes down. Now, if we eat too much, obviously, then we put body fat on. We all know that one. So, energy balance. Eating a good diet can provide the energy that you need to do your sport, your activity, or even your activities of daily life. And if you are tired throughout the day, one, obviously, is enough sleep. But then we can look at other obstacles of just getting the right amount of calories, carbohydrates. Are you staying hydrated? Oftentimes, if people aren't focused on an activity, then they end up not consuming enough water. That's what I have here, some sparkling water. To wet my whistle in between what we're doing here. Having the right type of nutrient-dense foods to give you the right micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals, are really important. So eating lots of colors, and certainly eating adequate amounts of protein to help build and recover your body. In general, ways to think about it, it's like 0.8 times your goal body weight is a good minimum amount of protein to maintain and eat. Okay, so that's just a really super easy way to find out an approximation on how much protein you should take in a day. And broccoli has protein in it, not a lot, not like chicken, but it all adds up, which is great because broccoli is a micronutrient dense food source with vitamins, minerals, fiber, not a lot of carbs, but it does have a little bit of protein in it, like 3 grams in a 30 calorie 1 cup serving. So we got a question here. How important are electrolytes in water when you're dieting? Great question. To the degree at which you sweat and your intensity rises is to the degree in which you would be more apt to have electrolytes. Now, when we talk about electrolytes, we're not talking about like Gatorade. The reason Gatorade works so well is because it has sugar in it. That's what's giving you that third and fourth quarter go. So you go back to the 50s and 60s, they were just giving people glucose at a farther out amount of time in their workout, and that rose the blood sugar levels up and gave them that extra boost to beat the other team in the fourth quarter because they had Gatorade and it was the electrolytes. Well, if you look at the potassium and sodium that are in Gatorade, it's not really impressive or say significant. It's more the sugar that's kind of doing the work there, as if you want to think about like Gatorade as an example. Now, you certainly like something like a NUN tablet, that is NUUN, or there's so many there's so many different ones that have potassium, sodium, and a lot of others. Those will definitely work. Again, the more intense your exercises are, the more likely you should do it. If you're just out walking around and doing general exercise, I don't necessarily think it's relevant. Usually they're about $1 a stick of electrolytes, or maybe a little less if you take the NUN pills, but it ends up being kind of expensive water to drink. It certainly tastes good, and if that helps you drink more water, then great. We can definitely do that as a way to stay hydrated. And maybe you just spread one of those electrolyte supplements out over more ounces of water. So instead of having a stick in a bottle of water at 16.9 ounces, you would take that stick of electrolytes and put it in 40 ounces of water. And then you got that much more water to drink that's flavored and a bit more enjoyable. So I hope that answers that question. That was a good one. More questions, please. More than happy to answer them. All right. Next up is the athletes and active individuals. Most importantly, we're constantly looking for different energy needs. If someone walks, lifts weights, go to a group exercise class like a boot camp or Orange Theory or something, or does endurance running, they're going to need different calorie levels to the duration of which they go. Most of the time, most people are going to burn somewhere like 400 to 600-ish calories in an hour's effort for most activities. With some intensity. Certainly, the more intensity, the higher it goes. You could burn 600, 700, 800 plus calories in an hour effort if you're really full tilt. And so that would be important to know. What's the truth about, I got another question. We'll take a quick time out, so just keep asking them. what's the proper amount of water intake? Obviously, you're eliminating a great deal of water, then you need to take more in. But what about a typical person doing regular exercise? So for me personally, certainly we have like the 64 ounces of water a day is the general standard information. For me personally, as a health coach, I'm always trying to get my women to consume 80 ounces or more water, and my gentlemen 100 ounces or more. The reason being is I want to use it as, one, make sure they're hydrated. Two, that they're not confusing hunger and thirst, because that happens a lot, and you usually go to hunger instead of thirst, and you eat calories instead of drinking no calorie type beverage like water. Then that helps you manage your weight a lot better. But also, if the more active you are, we want to make sure that your muscle tissue is high quality. Think of the difference between beef jerky and filet mignon. The difference is the hydration of the muscle tissue. Beef jerky is dehydrated and filet is hydrated. Which one do you want in your calf when you're trying to go for a run around the block? If you know what I mean. So staying up on water is important. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm going to end up in the bathroom all day. Yeah, if you skip long periods of time without consuming, yes, you will end up in the bathroom quite a bit at a given amount of time or cycle. But if you divide 16 hours of awake with 8 hours of sleep for 80 ounces, that's about 5 ounces of water an hour. And over 100, it's about 6. So that's like half a can of like LaCroix or something, or bubbly, that you could drink every hour as an example to keep you hydrated enough to get definitely a lot of water. It'll keep you full, hydrated. The body always works better when it's a wet sponge, not a dry one. So hopefully that answers that question. Good question. So back to where we're at. We're at athletes and individuals and customizing their actual nutrition approach. Macronutrient ratios. If I were to give you just a blanket statement, 40% carbs, 30 fat, 30 protein is a really good balanced amount of macros to target protein, carbs, and fats. And yes, that means that you'll be having more carbohydrates than any other percentage of calories because you need carbs. They're the body's fuel source. So if you're like on here thinking like keeps bringing up carbs, I'm always told that I shouldn't be eating carbs. Well, you've been misinformed. You've gotten caught up in the loop. Every single person I've ever worked with eats carbs. It's just we corresponded to their activity and their energy level so that they stay fueled and they function well. Timing of food, like getting a lot of carbs and calories before, during, and after a workout makes a lot of sense. Just intuitively, you have more carbs around your activity levels and less when you're not as busy. So the example, simple, would be, hey, I'm going to get up on a Monday and I'm going to work to sit all day. An egg omelet could be a really better start to your day. It's a lower carbs, still a lot of volume of food without lots of calories. Whereas on Saturday, you're going to get up and do the weekend warrior thing, then a bowl of oatmeal would make a lot more sense. The carb density and calories there. Periodization just talks about the process of building intensity and volume and then taking a down break. And that would affect your calories as well. If you're having a deload week, as they call it, obviously you'd eat less. For seniors and aging population, it's important to have micronutrient dense type foods. It's really easy for the older you get to be more set in your ways, or even to the point of just being lazy about preparing food for yourself. And then your quality of food could start slipping. Your protein intake could slip. Most importantly, as you age, you want to maintain as much muscle on your body as possible so that you can function and exist and do really well. Cognitive health issues, we don't want, right? You don't want to be older and senile in a sense. So eating healthy throughout your years will help keep that brain fog down and that level of concentration up. And then managing like social or emotional situations and stuff. Being able to engage with people is important as we age. We are social creatures, and that's really important. Consider for personalized nutrition for busy professionals. The biggest thing with this is you are busy. Every single person I've ever worked with is busy. So time efficiency, time management are super important. Finding convenient yet healthy food combinations, and no, that doesn't mean I'm just going to buy healthy snacks. The term healthy is very subjective, so we don't necessarily need to buy things that are targeting or marketed toward a healthy snack for you. And you don't have to drink protein shakes and protein bars all the time to get the results that you're after. We're going to balance meals, meal timing throughout the day so that you have the energy in the afternoon to function and do what you need to. High stress individuals, they're burnt. That's important in this process of managing, inflammation in a sense. Mindful eating. If you are directly connected with emotions and stress eating and such, you really need to do a good job of being prepared around what you eat or when you eat. Deciding ahead of time what would be important for you to eat, and making sure that you're not eating just carbs or fats or something in a meal, because it's really easy to just sign out of work and go hit fast food or just go out to eat or something, and you're going to get higher carb, higher fat type meals. Now, wrapping up here for our last bullet point, and then we'll get the code out to you, is fueling your body. So we have workout meals and anytime meals. So anytime meals, we're looking for just general balance, to manage blood sugar levels, get your daily nutrient requirements, your vitamins and minerals. Having a sandwich with some veggies and a piece of fruit could be a really easy lunch that you had and could pack every day. Pasta, like a serving of pasta, not a plate of pasta, with some lean protein in the sauce, and chopping up of vegetables can definitely work well for you. And that just creates balance. A protein, a vegetable, a starch are always super easy ways to build anytime meals. When we're looking at post-workout meals, we want to really say, it's like you're driving your car around. We're going to go on that analogy. You drive your car around all day long and the gas tank goes low. You need to refill the gas tank to then be able to be ready to do it tomorrow. Go drive your car again. So you do want to eat around your workouts and have more carbs and calories available. We're looking for things that are easy to digest, and a lot of this is based on personal preference. Example, I can eat a full dinner and go for a 10-mile run, not a big deal. I'm not going to eat a full dinner and go for a sprint workout at the track. It's not going to happen. Okay. So we want it to be absorbed, focus on muscle recovery, replenish muscle glycogen stores, and build muscle along the way. So protein shake is a clear one that has some carbs in it. Banana with peanut butter, even take a fruit with oatmeal and some protein on the side. Could be a really, really simple meal option for you to put together. So what are we eating? It's generally, the general rule of thumb here is avoid eating right before a workout. That's really designed around what level of intensity and effort you're doing. If you're going to go do 10-mile run, I'm going to have you eat right before a workout because it's relevant for you to do. And we're going to talk about how to train your body and everything to manage the food that you eat. But if you're just going in for a simple workout, you probably don't need the extra energy or the stomach. Again, some people can digest a lot better than others. So 1 to 3 hours is always going to be an easy thing to keep it light on the stomach, but you got to decide what's best for you. Pre-exercise carbs provide lasting energy, replenish muscle glycogen stores, refilling the gas tank, helps reduce muscle soreness. So if you're achy and sore after your workouts, if you have more carbs before or during and or after, you might feel a lot better recovery, and you'll actually be more likely to grow your muscles. Looking at protein, we want it to obviously build and recover your body. Protein does a lot of different things like hair and nails as well, hormone production, keep your immune function going well. We talked about fluids. Certainly you got to stay hydrated. If you move more and sweat more, you need to drink more. Okay? You don't want, beef jerky in your calf going on when you're trying to run. Here's some sample workout foods. Banana with peanut butter, cereal milk, oatmeal packet with milk, chocolate milk, and a granola bar. Easy, accessible calories, carbs. That could really make a difference in your energy level and your workout. If you're more than an hour prior, then you can have a little bit more calories and carbs, like peanut butter, banana, honey sandwich. If you're going out for an hour run and you had that like an hour beforehand, you're well carved up to fuel and exercise at your best. Greek yogurt parfait, some nuts and berries, cinnamon, banana, overnight oats could be something fun, different, and those are pretty easy. You just put it in a jar, container, and then leave it in the fridge overnight. Those work. There's like millions of recipes on the internet. Post-workout, again, we need carbs, calories, and protein. So any of these work, from a recovery smoothie. Chocolate milk has always been a fan because it does have some protein in it. Turkey sandwich with some veggies. It could be a pasta meal with some meat sauce. Yogurt, berries, chicken and veggies, tuna with crackers. Hopefully you get the gist of a protein and a starchy carb, or possibly a vegetable or fruit. So there we go. Right before we're supposed to get done, I really appreciate your time, energy here on fueling your body for a good workout. I hope that this was super helpful for you. If you have questions, please get to that.